So in my 25 years at Splash, the single biggest complaint we've had is getting the skimmer in and out with cold water. Well, we have finally addressed the solution, and I'm really excited about it. This is the Splash Quickconnect for your skimmer. Here's how it's going to work. You've got a piece that goes on your skimmer suction hose, and you've got a piece that goes in the wall, and instead of a bunch of threads, it's a simple quarter turn connect, quarter turn disconnect. We'll show you how it goes on. Okay, now if this is a retrofit, then obviously your pool may have water in it. You can do exactly the same thing. We just figured it'd be easier to remove the water so that you could see what's going on a lot easier. A tip though, we'll show you later, is you can actually use a Tupperware bowl to see in the water. Stick around for that. All right, so step one, we're going to remove our floating weir. We're going to remove our basket. All right, so the next step is we're going to remove the skimmer hold down hose from the wall fitting, just like that. And you should be able to reach in here and grab this and turn it. And I'll give you a tip. Take your foot and put on the ball valve on the other side, and you'll see how it helps point that up. It makes this a little easier. Now, this water is probably cold, so be aware that a PVC connection screwed into a PVC connection is going to be kind of stiff. So just give it a twist counterclockwise, maybe a little stubborn, and it'll come out. So the next step is we have to remove the old skimmer suction hose from your skimmer weir. And I'll give you a hint. The hose always twists easier one way. It doesn't twist both ways. Try it one way. If it doesn't work or if it's hard, try it the other way. Maybe a lot easier. So now we're going to put the new hose on, and this came with your kit. You can see that it has the female adapter already on it. And it's important that we get this on in the proper orientation. So as I'm screwing this on, I'm going to turn it until it is in line with this gray hose. See, that's a little off. So there we go. And what that also does is it lines up this ear right here. So you should have one in the 12 and one in the 6 o'clock position. So if your skimmer hose is put on correctly, it's going to look just like this. On to the next step. All right, so now we're going to add the male adapter to the wall. Now I know you've got water in here. I'm going to show you how to do it with water in here in just a moment, but I want you to see it without the water so you'll know how it works. So we're going to take the male adapter and we're going to screw it into the wall fitting, just like that. We're going to turn it till it's pretty snug. Okay, so that's pretty snug, and you can see these two tab slots have blue on them, and there's also a blue line on the nut. So what we're going to do is go to the outside and we're going to loosen the nut on the wall fitting, and it's going to allow us to turn this until we get this in the correct orientation. And what we want is these two tab slot blue lines to be in the 3 and the 9 o'clock position, which will put this nut line in the 12 o'clock position. You'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to go loosen the nut on the outside. All right, so we screwed in our male adapter into the wall fitting, and the lines didn't line up where we wanted them. Remember, we wanted the tab slots in the 3 and the 9 o'clock position. So what I can do is take this nut on this wall fitting and just loosen it slightly, not a lot, because if you've got water in here, you're going to be leaking a little bit. It's going to be very minor, and it's just going to take you a second to do this. So I can now turn this whole wall fitting, which is going to turn the lines on the inside, to get it to line up where I want it. Once I do that, just tighten this right back down. All right, so we loosen the nut, we turn the whole wall fitting until we got these in the correct orientation with the tab slots in the 3 and the 9 and the nut line in the 12 o'clock. And there's another one at the 6 o'clock, okay? So this is what we want it to look like. All right, so now we're gonna put the skimmer in. And on the skimmer, you'll notice that you have these two tabs. We're going to try to get those tabs to line up in the 3 and the 9 o'clock position to line up with the two slotted tabs. That's how we're going to get it to start. Remember the tip I gave you about stepping on the ball valve? You can see how it points it up a little bit. So we're going to put it on, and you can tell when it slides on, and when it does, you start turning it clockwise. And you're going to turn it until you feel it click, and you'll hear it. And if you look, you'll notice that the tab on the outside of the female part is now in the 12 o'clock position, lining up with the line on the wall wall fitting. So that tells us it's locked in. At this point, it's easy. Now all we have to do is reattach the gray hose to the hold down fitting. And put our basket and our floating weir back in. And guess what? You're set and you're ready to go. All right, so I know we showed you the version with no water, which makes it a lot easier to see, but now we've got water. Here's a little tip for you. If you need to see at the bottom and you see that the water moving is just causing problems, get you a Rubbermaid, Tupperware, anything clear. And look at here, I can put this just in the water, and all of a sudden it makes a window that I can see down through the water. So now I can see exactly where those lines are to make sure that they line up and to make sure they're locked in. Now we showed you how easy it was to put the male wall adapter in without any water, but if you've got water in the pool, you have two options. One is you put somebody in the pool and you know the water is going to be cold, so that's a job for the kids. Or if you have to do it for yourself, I'm going to show you how to do it outside the pool. So you've got your wall adapter. You've already got a winterization plug that came with the pool. We made it so that the winterization plug will screw directly into the wall adapter. So I'm going to screw that in just like that. Now I'm going to take my winterizing tool, which you can get from the website, and you can see that it has two grooves, and so this winter plug fits right into those grooves. And so now I'm going to step on the ball valve to point it up, and I'm probably even going to push it away from me a little bit, which points it in this direction. You can reach over the side of the pool, lean in, turn it backwards until you feel a little bit of a click, and once you feel the click, you can just start screwing it in. And I can screw that wall adapter in just like that. Now remember, you don't have to get it really tight, because I can loosen this nut on the outside and turn the whole wall fitting to get those lines to line up in the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock position. And then when you're ready, you just back it out. And all you're doing at this point is taking the winterization plug out. So if for some reason the winterization plug falls out, you can flip it over. On the winterization tool, you've got these two tabs on the outside. That lines up with the slots. So it makes it real easy to see when it's lined up. Push down on it, guess what? Pull it out, no problem. So that's how you can put the adapter in if there's water in the pool and you don't want to get in.